Welcome to week 6 of online learning. This is going to be May 4th through May 8th. We are going to be wrapping up your reading of informational texts, and we're going to start thinking about some things that interest you and how you can inform others about those things. So today is Monday, May 4th. It is week 6, lesson 1. Had to sneak this little doohickey in here. May the 4th be with you all. And our agenda today, we're going to go over our what, why, and how. You have some iReady to do. We're going to talk about fatal car crashes. And you guys have a reading guide that's going to be due at the end of class today. So our what, why, and how. Today, we are looking at our last informational text of the year. Woo! Very exciting. I can't believe I am saying at the end of the year. So we're going to talk about informational text where an author provides reasoning to support their claim or their argument. And we're doing this before you do the same thing. And so we want you to be able to learn from strong examples. Today, we're going to do our final informational text reading guide. And that's how you're going to know that you did what you needed to do. Next. So we're going to start with your iReady. Remember, we are checking iReady minutes. So go ahead and get rolling with that. So we're going to talk a little bit about reasoning before I tell you about the text that you're going to read today. So readers use reasoning, right, or logic, right, the logic in their brains while they're reading to evaluate an author's conclusion. So when an author is putting something in front of you, right, you in your brain are processing all the information. And we've talked quite a bit about that as we've talked about claims and details, right, and supporting details in all those different forms that we talked about, right, statistics, facts, quotations from experts, all that kind of stuff. So all of those different things are things that you sort of compile in your head, and you start, sort of thinking through and evaluating the conclusion that the author is coming to. So there are two types of reasonings that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about deductive reasoning and then inductive reasoning. So deductive reasoning begins with a general statement, right? And the author of the piece or the person making the claim will present a specific situation or a specific issue or, a specific topic. Then they'll provide the facts and evidence toward their logical conclusion about whatever their claim or their piece is. So, for example, right, let's say I was talking about starting later, right? I think the school day starting at 7:50 is way too early. Your brains are still developing. I think we should start at 8:30. Let's say 8:30. So my general statement is that schools start too early. School should be starting at 8:30. That's the specific general statement. Or I could even make it more general and say schools are starting too early, they should be starting later. Then I go back through and I provide facts and evidence that support that, and they make it sort of, obviously that makes the most sense. That's the logical conclusion, right? Based on all this research, students' brains aren't ready that early in the morning to be doing school. Okay, so deductive reasoning is when you start with the statement and then you move towards all the other stuff. So it's kind of like a triangle, right? You start really small and then you get bigger and bigger, or, a funnel or whatever. It's one specific thing that goes out and gets bigger and bigger. Okay. Inductive reasoning starts with observations, examples, facts, all that kind of information, then starts to move towards a conclusion. Okay, so if we're sticking with that idea of schools and start times, it might start with observations in the classroom. It might start with studies that have been done that are on both sides. It might start with specific facts, and it might even start with some specific quotations from experts. Then it might lead us into the conclusion of schools are starting too early. This is really when they should be starting. Okay, so inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning are the two types of reasoning that readers can use to evaluate an author's claim. Ooh, it's starting to rain and my windows are open. I'll be fine. The cats will just get a little wet. It'll be okay. Anyways, so the piece that we're going to read today is called Fatal Car Crashes Drop for 16-Year-Olds, Rise for Older Teens. It is in the collections textbook on page 256 to 257. You're going to notice it's a really short reading. When this loads, you have a guide that you will find in Google Classroom that says Fatal Car Crashes Drop, the title. You have to identify the type of reasoning the author uses on a specific line. And then, oh, why am I like floating off the screen? Hi. Then you're going to have to look through the claim. You're going to have to think about supporting details in the text that support the claim. What types of reasoning the author is using on different lines. Okay. And then you just need to look for the two reasons according to this survey that Allstate Insurance did. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Identifying what type of reasoning and then finding the support. Okay, so this is what you are going to submit at the end of class today. Again, this is our very last nonfiction informational text that you guys are going to be reading and dealing with in the collections textbook. So I can't believe we've made it to this point. But here we are. Happy Monday, and may the 4th be with you, peeps. May it be with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.